Hello, friends. I'm drinking tonight. Tonight's a night for drinking. It's been a long week so far. It's only Wednesday night. Well, it's Wednesday night and my internet's been completely out here at the house since Sunday afternoon. And, shouldn't be a big deal, right? But with school, although most of my classes are in person, except one class. I have one Zoom class, and let me tell you, that's been interesting. All my homework is done online, and it's submitted online. And if I want to use Microsoft Word to even write essays and stuff, it's all through Microsoft through my school, which is all online. Like, everything is online. And it's been rough. It's been rough because I've basically been chasing closing times for the library and different coffee shops and stuff. So I've been frustrated. It's been really frustrating. I'm feeling a lot better today just because I kind of got to the point where I was like, you're going to get done when you get done. And if you can't get stuff done, that's okay. And luckily, a lot of my professors have been showing a lot of grace, and that's really wonderful. I have one particular class where the professor's been very nice about the fact that I have no internet. But this particular professor just doesn't, and this is a problem that our whole class is having, she doesn't seem to realize what is realistic and reasonable for students when it comes to homework, because the amount of work we are required to do in this class it's just another thing where I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I will do what I can do. And I will take from this class what I can take from this class because it's a very important class. But I'm not going to stress about the stuff I can't get done. I just can't do it. I don't know what that's all going to mean for my reading. Actually, I can already tell you what it means for my reading. I have not started Jonathan Strange. Times Convert, I was able to get through like 60 some odd pages of it so far. But I haven't been able to read anything since. And I'm really nervous. That's like my priority at the moment because I'm really nervous I won't have that done before the live show, and I need to have it done before the live show. So I'm hoping that this weekend I'll be able to read that quite a bit. I've been reading a ton, but it's stuff that's not interesting because it's it's interesting to me, but it's not interesting for you because it's all journal articles and things like that and stuff from textbooks. And so I've been reading a ton for that. And I will say, though, that I have started a book for school that I am currently working on. So I'm physically, actively working on Code Talker by Joseph Bruchac. It is a novel about the Navajo Marines of World War II. And this is a middle grade book. But it's a pretty dense middle grade book, so it's not like one of those ones where you can read it in like 20 minutes and then you're done. And I have a book club discussion about halfway through this tomorrow. So I'm about page 80 something, and I have to be 113 pages into it. So I'll be continuously working through this tonight and getting through that part so I can talk about it tomorrow. And then the only other book that I'm actively reading at the moment is that I got Fairy Tale by Stephen King through Libby. It came available, and that's his brand new fantasy novel, and I'm listening to that. And it's like 24 hours long, so like I'm 15% of the way through, and I make like 1%, 2% each day because it's such a long audiobook, and I don't listen to my audiobooks at fast pace. Through all my driving here and there, trying to find internet, I at least have that. So I'm listening to something, and it's kind of fun to be able to listen to a book that just recently came out because I don't typically do that. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of information about what's going on this week because it's been a crazy week and it's been frustrating, and you'll have seen this after the fact. Hopefully I'll have internet by the time you see this. Can't guarantee I will. Yeah, it's just been one of those weeks where you're like, bring on the wine. I need to drink more wine. So I'll see you later. And I'm going to keep drinking while I keep reading Code Talker because our professor gave us just a few days to read this. Well, thank you to that wonderful introduction by our whining wino. She's doing much better now. The internet actually came up Thursday morning, which was lucky because I had my Zoom meeting that morning, so it came up right before my Zoom meeting, so that was great. So the rest of the week has been good. It was funny because once the internet came back up, I hit a point where I was like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to watch TV. And so Thursday didn't get too much accomplished, but yesterday, Friday, I went to PE. I did all the stuff I needed to do for school, but then I was like, I'm just going to read. I'm just going to enjoy the day and then get stuff done around the house. As you can see, my plants are gone because I'm trying to repot them and do things like that with my indoor plants. They've been highly neglected recently, so just trying to take care of that. taking care of some things around the house. As far as what I'm gonna actually review in this video though, I only got the opportunity to talk about one of the books from August and September and do a review of that because it was a rough week. I am okay with that though. I did do a review for the 2 most recent books I finished though. So the books that I finished in October, I'm going to be up to date on that. So at least I'm not behind on those particular reviews. I just have a few more reviews for August and September that I will have to tell you about in the next Sunday Sum Up. So we'll do that and I will let you know what I'm currently working on. And then that will be it for this week's Sunday Sum Up because I need to keep things simple. I got something in the mail, so I'm excited. I can't wait to find out what it is. Di from DSys19 Hearts had sent me a message and said, I'm gonna send you something. And I was like, okay, that's awesome. Wow, that's really nice. It was very random, but she's such a wonderful person. I've been enjoying getting to know her through BookTube and hopefully we'll get to know her better as time goes on. And I can't believe she sent me something. So let's see what it is. All right, what are we gonna get? Oh, oh, this is wonderful. Okay, so we've got Hoku, The Seal's 3 Wishes by Gil McBarnett, The Gift of Aloha, A Fairy Tale from Hawaii from Gil McBarnett, and then A Halloween Scare Hawaii. Oh, this is amazing. Di just went to Hawaii. She was in Hawaii. She's from Hawaii, which I didn't know. They actually went to the Aulani Disney Resort that's there, which I've always wanted to go to. One of these days I'll get to go to it. I will link her TBR game video, The Rotating Decks of TBR, down below because the most recent one was done while they were in Hawaii. So Di knows that I'm gonna become a teacher and I'm definitely looking to increase my library. So when I begin to start teaching my students, I have plenty of books for them to read. And what I really love is books that have a lot of diversity, books that talk about different cultures, books that talk about different parts of the world, or within this case, our own country, but a very different culture. And so this is very exciting because this will give me an opportunity to have discussions with our students about Hawaii and let them learn more about the culture and some of the stories from Hawaii. I can't wait to read these myself and then of course share them with my students. Thank you so much for thinking about me. That was really very kind, like really super sweet. And this month is Di's birthday, so go check out her channel and wish her happy birthday. And of course I jumped the ball. There's actually a letter. Hi Amy, it has been great getting to know you. I hope you enjoy these children's books I picked up for you when I went home to Hawaii. I don't know how readily available they are outside the islands, and I'm not sure many who are outside the islands know about these books. Since you've been enjoying children's books, I thought these would be great additions to your collection. Thank you so much for your comments on my videos and your chats. I hope you and your mom are doing great. Take care, Di. Oh, this is stationery from the Aulani. So that's so cute. Oh yeah, it says Disney right there. You probably can't see it, but they give them stationery. That's so fun. How cute. Well, I love this. This is wonderful. Thank you again, Di. Thank you. Super amateur move. So I have been using these guys ever since yesterday. I've been using them, thinking these markers aren't very good. Why do they keep looking brown? Why do they look brown? And nothing on here says these are brown, Amy. So then I finally used a big one to write knockout, and clearly brown. So then I looked even closer at these caps, you know, crossing my eyes, and they're brown. I bought brown. Talk about another book that I read in August, and I can't talk about it too much because it is the 3rd in a series, but it was a 5-star read, so that's exciting, and that's The Book of Life by Deborah Harkness. So this one is the 3rd in the All Souls trilogy. I'm currently reading Times Convert, which is like
sort of a continuation on. There's like the All Souls trilogy, but then Times Convert does include characters from this, but it's like after the fact. And it has a focus of some of the other characters in this series. I loved this. It did start out a little slow, if I remember correctly, but this was a beautiful ending to this series. And it was fun to see how the information we got from the first 2 books all came together in this final book. And we got a fantastic cast of characters. We got a lot more witchiness in this, so there was a lot more magic from a witch perspective, which I loved. And we had the addition of 2 amazing new characters. And we have one character where their relationship with the other characters in this book has changed. So it definitely leaves you on a cliffhanger. Well, I wouldn't say it's a cliffhanger. I would say it leaves you with unresolved storylines. And I know that that can be pretty unsatisfying, but I have big hopes that Deborah Harkness is going to continue on with these characters, because Times Convert is a continuation of these characters, and there are quite a few people in here who I feel like their story can be carried on. And I think that that is the intention. I know that Deborah Harkness was in cancer recovery, so I think that ultimately she's hoping to continue on this series, but you never know. I love her writing style. I have found that for me, it's the level of detail that I enjoy, as well as content is fascinating, and it has that academic bend to it. Not so much as maybe in the first book, but there's still undertones of it, because our main characters, one's a scientist and Diana's like a historian anthropologist. So it has a lot of content that I enjoy, but then it has the perfect level of supernatural that makes this series really fun for me. Now, as far as this goes, it's very exciting because it is actually on my 100 Essentials books list. Where is it? There it is. If you'd like to know more about the scratch board, I actually have a Sunday sum up where I included talking about the books and scratching off the books that I have already read. So I will link that also up here, and you can go check it out and see what books are on this and how many I've read. But for now, let's scratch off Book of Life. Okay, so where is it is the question now. Oh, right there. Right next to the Martian. Okay, so right in the very center. I'll be scratching that off. So that's done. It's really pretty. I really like that one. And because I wanted an alphabetical way of keeping track of my 100 essential books, I have this list, which I started here. So anything that has the, I actually went with like Book of Life rather than the Book of Life. So otherwise there'd be a whole bunch of thes down here. So Book of Life should be towards the top. And there it is. The pink means the book I own, and the blue dot on the top is a book that I have finished. So I have finished it. And that's one way I can keep track of this in my bullet journal, and it's in alphabetical order. So if I actually am looking something up, it's a lot more quick to look it up here than it is on my scratch board. So yeah, Book of Life. I'm not necessarily sure how crazy I am of this because I didn't use any rulers or anything like that, and it turned out a little sloppier than I wanted it to, but you know, it's still kind of cool. It's a nice way to organize my 100 essential books. Well, that pot's not big enough. We need to get a better hook. We don't have a shorter hook. Once we get one, it'll be even better. But look how cute this is. Da, 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 da. There it is. And I put a couple of the baby spider plants in there. But look how adorable. Super, super cute. I'm loving it. I just can't get over it. It's super adorable. What do you think, Cease? She's unimpressed. Look what I just bought. I got these cute little socks at Joann's. They were like 30% off and feeling fantastic, which is perfect for me because I'm really enjoying vampires at the moment. So I guess this year for Halloween is going to be a vampire year. So
so this is the look I'm going for today. I'm the good crab. Chamonix, come here. And Chamonix is the bad crab. She's the green crab. European green crab. If you find any of those, make sure you contact your local natural resources people because they're invasive. So the book I want to talk about is the first book that I finished in October, and that's Tokyo Ghoul Volume 4 by Sweet Ishida. And this is a book I can't tell you too much about because it's a graphic novel series that is about ghouls and this boy who becomes half ghoul and he's still half human, and his experiences kind of straddling those two worlds, ghouls and humans, and how that goes for him. And it's funny because the first two graphic novels I enjoyed, and I felt like, okay, I like this well enough. But then the third one, I was like, oh, the story is finally really taking off, and I was getting into it. And I just felt like the third graphic novel did a great job. And then now for the fourth graphic novel, I gave it a 3.5 stars because it was fine. It got better as it went along, but it really started out being very jumbled. It felt very much like an in-between book. And there were some interesting characters that came up in this, like the gourmet, and there's some other things that happened that were kind of disturbing. So that was fun because it is a horror series, but it was definitely not my favorite of the series so far. So after this one, I was like, do I really want to continue on this series? Which is funny because after the third book, I was like, oh, I definitely want to continue on now. So we'll see. I think the way this series is going to go for me is that I'm going to keep trying books until I decide I really don't want to continue on. So I will try book number 5. And if it makes me want to go try number 6, then I'll do that. If not, then I wouldn't really feel bad about not continuing on this series because I'm enjoying it well enough, but I'm not so invested that I would feel like I've lost anything in not finishing it. And that's kind of just how I'm feeling about Tokyo Ghoul at the moment. However, it does work for my Halloween bingo board. So I'm going to show you that here. Okay, so here's my Halloween bingo board and all the books I would like to read for this month. The only one I have completed so far is Tokyo Ghoul Volume 4. And I've started on Fairy Tale by Stephen King. Oh, and now I've started on Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. Oh, and I've started on Times Convert. Okay, well, and yeah, the Hacienda. Okay, I'm doing okay. Amy, give yourself a break. At the moment, though, we're talking about Tokyo Ghoul. So I figured this worked really well for body horror because there are quite a few scenes in this which are pretty body horrific. And so I crossed out that particular one. So here's what my bingo board looks like at the moment. So when I am able to get some of these other ones finished, which will take a while, this one I'll be done with soon, Times Convert, but Jonathan Strange will take a while and Fairy Tale's probably going to take a little bit of a while, but I will be able to cross those ones off, and I'm hoping that I will get at least one bingo this month. second book that I finished in October was Heartburn by Nora Ephron. And I'm giving this one 2.75 stars. So my reading in October has not started out on the best foot. However, I think I'm reading some books now that are definitely going to be higher rated than those two, the first two that I read. And like I said, Tokyo Ghoul was good. It just was not my favorite of the series so far. But Heartburn. And so this one was interesting because I said in my last Sunday Sum Up that it was published in 1996, which accounted for some of the humor that I thought was quite a bit outdated. Actually, it was published in 1983, which makes even more sense when you think about the humor. And Nora Ephron is known for movies like Sleepless in Seattle and When Harry Met Sally, and her humor tends to have a bit more of a sharp edge, but this definitely went more on the cynical and the jaded side. And what I found out afterwards, not knowing this before reading it, was that this was loosely based off her own experiences, and the main character in this, her husband cheats on her while she's 7 months pregnant. And so it really wasn't a plot-driven story. It was a lot about what was going on in this character's brain the whole time they were dealing with this issue. And, should they stay together with their husband? Should they, what's going on? And the characters were really difficult to be drawn to, and including the main character. I felt sorry for her, but I don't know, it just didn't hit me right. When it comes to humor writing, I know that not everything necessarily needs to be PC, but I also think that you need to think about what your audience is going to enjoy at this time. For the time that it was written, I feel like the humor was what could be expected from that time and would have been a lot more funny at that time. But it was one of those books where I just didn't think it aged well, because nowadays that humor, it just wasn't that funny. And there was a lot of moments that were inappropriate, the way that certain cultures and identities were talked about. And so I just didn't find the experience of listening to this as enjoyable as I had hoped it would be, because I picked it up for Meryl Streep's narration. Now, Meryl Streep did an amazing job, and that's exactly why I wanted to listen to it, and she did exactly what I wanted her to do. So if I had really liked the story, this would have been perfect, because it's narrated by an actress that I find incredible. And I think that she did a great job with the accents, with the different characters, with differentiating, brilliant moments where you can see that she knew exactly what Nora Ephron wanted the characters to sound like. And I really enjoyed that. It didn't work for me, and that's okay, because this is probably going to work for somebody else. And if you can look past the elements of the humor that I thought just felt very outdated and made me uncomfortable nowadays, made me uncomfortable, then I think that you will enjoy this. And of course, if you're looking for an audiobook that is beautifully narrated, this is beautifully narrated. It just doesn't have much of a plot, and you're just listening to the things that this character is dealing with, thinking about how they're going to be living their lives going forward. And that's pretty much what the book's about.
So let's talk about where I'm currently at with my reading. So last week I had told you all the books that I have started in the last couple of months and have not been able to work on. And today I'm going to tell you about all the books I started this week. I had mentioned I'm reading Code Talker by Joseph Bruchac, and I am currently where I'm supposed to be, starting chapter 17, so 112 pages in. And by the end of Thursday, I will need to have this other half finished. So this will get done before Thursday. Then I mentioned that I need to read Times Convert, and I have started this, and I'm on page 146. So I'm splitting it up day to day, how much I need to read each day, and I need to have this done by Friday. So fingers crossed that I get it done, but the reading is going a little more slowly in this than maybe the other Deborah Harkness books that I have read, but I am working on it. And there are some fun things that are happening in this book, and there's some interesting perspectives that we're getting. So I'm enjoying elements of this, but there are some parts of this that I feel have been a little slower. Then I'm doing a buddy read with Kim from Expedition Through Pages for Anna Karenina. And there's my old copy. This is the volume 1, and we're supposed to get through part 1 by today for you, and for me it's Saturday. And I am currently on page 52. So the end of part 1 is at page 137. So I should be able to get through this by Sunday. And then Kim and I can talk about what we've read so far in Anna Karenina. And then I did finally start Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. And the fun thing about this is I decided to do a book-specific vlog for this, because I just thought it'd be fun, because this book is so, I don't want to say controversial, but so many people either like or dislike it. And this vlog is actually going to be spoilery because I want the opportunity to talk about all my thoughts and feelings about this book. And a lot of times I can't do that in vlogs because I try not to do spoilers. And so this one in particular is going to be for people who don't care about spoilers or have already read this book or tried to read this book and want to hear some of my thoughts on it while I'm working through this huge, huge book. So I'm excited about that. And we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'm lying to you and I'm just gonna scrap it all and not do a vlog. I don't know, we'll see. And then finally for Fairy Tale by Stephen King, I am 21% of the way through that one. So I'm listening to the audiobook. Like I said, it's very long and I make little bits of progress here and there, but I'm loving that. I'm having a lot of fun listening to it. I have had a good relationship with Stephen King's novels in the past, and I'm just totally drawn into the characters. Nothing has really happened yet, really, but I don't care. I like it. I like it. So we'll see how that goes. So how's your reading going this week? Have you had any crazy adventures in the past week that have sort of changed the way you've been reading? Because I certainly have. But let me know in the comment section down below, what's one thing this past week that you completed that you feel proud about? I am happy that, what am I happy about? I'm happy that I got to do an instant activity in my PE class with my partner, and we got to share that with the whole class, and we're having a good time. Oh, and yesterday I did a somersault in PE. So, I mean, I did a somersault. It's been many, many years. So, and in tag on Wednesday, I was it. And I had so much fun. And I then got really worn out. So I guess PE's been fun this week. Oh, and I went to yoga on Monday. Like, okay, I've done things. I've done really good things this week. So let me know some of the great things that you did this week. It doesn't have to be exercise. It can be anything that you feel accomplished for. And I think that that's just the only thing that I felt good about this week. So I just wanted to share that. So if you like this video and you think other people might like to see it as well, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you can see what happens in the next week. Will my internet stay reliable? It better. I can't do it again. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later.